consider my life before my encounter with the Lord Jesus Christ, it's almost like it was a dream, and this is the reality. What's funny is that from the outside looking in, my life was clean. I mean, I was a pretty good dude. I wasn't a thug. I was respectful to adults, intelligent, etc. My life, it looked pretty sanitized. But the reality is that I was bound by my sin. I was a slave. It's like it says in Titus chapter 3, verse 3. It says, we ourselves were once foolish, disobedient, led astray, slaves to various passions and pleasures, passing our time in malice and envy, hated by others and hating one another. And if I'm honest with myself, that was me. The reality is that I was trapped by a demonic world system that had a lot on my mind and my soul, and there was no escape. Even though I tried, I looked for escape in games, sports, comfort, you name it. But at some point, I had to come face to face with my biggest enemy, me. The Spirit of God in the midst of my rebellion, and I should add, without my permission, changed my heart and opened my eyes. By God's grace, I heard the gospel concerning Jesus Christ, the Son of God, who lived a perfect life and died as a substitute, taking on himself the wrath that I deserved for my sin. And he rose again from the grave on the third day. And for the first time, the one who I once wanted nothing to do with was now irresistibly amazing and fascinating to me. And by the grace of God, I repented and I believed in him and I was saved. At that point, the person I once was, he died. And the life that I lived before, that was dead also. It's almost as though God was saying to me, Shine, wake up, you're alive. Man, and I give God all the glory for that. For that. One night, a while ago, I had a crazy dream that shady beings were probing my mind with a laser beam. The pain was high octane, 10 times the intensity of a migraine, enough to drive somebody insane. My physical frame was paralyzed, the floor was sanitized, the instruments they used were sterilized. But the terror lies in the fact that the metallic walls were covered with many eyes that watched as they probed my insides and analyzed. They weren't aliens because their faces weren't mystical, completely irresistible. Mind control, trying to mold my will to theirs and redesign my soul. Slicing me up like cold cuts. I was broke up. If I could, I would have spoke up, but they had me yoked up, and then I woke up, choked up. My spine and bones were tingling. Awakened from a nightmare to find my phone was ringing.
Yo, Shy, wake up, man. You gotta wake up. Yo, wake up, man. Yo, you gotta get out of there. He's in your house, man. He's in your house. He's on his way up the stairs. He's in your house, so you gotta get out of there. He's at your door right now. You gotta get out.
All of a sudden, I heard a thunderous roar. He busted through the door before my feet hit the floor. Was trying to stay patient. With great haste, I raced and slipped when I tripped over my PlayStation. My green beanbag broke my fall. As I groped for the wall behind me, I could sense his open jaws. The smell of his breath was hot sulfur, not kosher. I yelled as he crept and got closer. Knocked over a vase, no space to race with him. Shocked over his pace, I was face to face with him. Envisioning my imminent homicide, dismemberment, collision with impenitence, personified with grim intent. A sinister smile, a foul grimace, particular style of a menace, the image was vile. I was too subdued to struggle, woozy from the tussle. Wanted to choose to hustle, but I couldn't move a muscle. I was hurting, I thought I was a goner for certain. Then I looked and saw the sunlight through the corner of my curtain. At this point, I thought he would devour for sure, but he just stood over me for a half an hour or more. As the morning flooded the bedroom, I could see a little better, but his face was still obscured by a black hooded sweater. Just then it must have been an illustrious gust of wind that thrust him into the rooms of the inn. My physical felt rejuvenated. I opened the door, the whole house illuminated by the sunlight. My chance to bounce, I hesitated, cause I He stated,
Why don't you go
who could
fuck
it be?
yourself?
The dead villain in the corner of my room? It was me. I fell back, surprised, cried, lost all my drive. Looked over at my clock and said 6:55. As I tried to make sense of what I just survived, a voice from outside said, "Wake up, you're alive."
Everybody on the floor, kick it down. Invasion. Now who is at the door? Invasion. Now you can't take no more. Start your heart.
Invasion, pigs at the door. Babylon, throwing nigga kids on the floor. Firebomb the living room, slug in the door. I ain't make it to the police, then I'm probably in the morgue. Light is dark in the streets, see the blue suits, it's the mark of the beast. I'm inside, but I can't get around it. Looking out the window when they got the crib surrounded. Know they gon' tear up the whole house. Looking for the work, but it's already sold out. Looking for the guns, but they already thrown out. Looking for the weed, but it's already blown out. Fuck the pigs and the rats to school them. Still a rude boy, still with all of the hoodlums. Some of them blazing, some of them caged in. Ghost and Green, Junior Reed, tell them what it is, brethren.
He walks outside for a cigarette break and thinks how many cigarettes does it take. He takes a long drag with the sun in his eye. He squints, he thinks, he starts to sigh. Sometimes he cries when he think about his girlfriend on his side. She held him down, she made him better. Fuck the love through fucked up weather. And she thinking about her life with no more work, just being a wife. But instead her love, she gave it to a man who fought against her lovely plan. So when she go to work, plus go to school, plus fight for love, she must feel like a fool. She wants the ease to come after pain. She fights for love, that's her campaign. We fight for love.
We fight for love so much, sometimes I can't give you the who we are. Maybe if we just stop and chat, we'll find out who we are. We fight for love so much, sometimes I can't give you the who we are. Maybe if we just stop and chat, we'll find out who we are.
He's off the ball. He left his friends. He ain't home no more. He's in a place that's far away where he can't understand what they say. They take so long. They cap arms. It's a crowded place. They cause alarm. You're the infidel who's uninvited, but really an American boy who's slighted. It ain't your fault. You want identity, so